Hi, this is Pastor Fast Francis, and I'm the director and principal of Rafa Bible School and College. So, we warmly welcome to our YouTube page, Rafa Bible School and College, and I want to wish you a very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. So, my dear brother and sisters, last time in the last lecture, we have learned about the summary of the book of Genesis, chapter 1. So, today we will learn about the teaching points about the chapter number 1, Genesis chapter number 1. So you can write down the notes, teaching points. Number one, the sovereignty of God in creation. The sovereignty of God in creation. If we see Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, states in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth. This verse establishes God as the ultimate authority and initiator of all things. Amen. So then you can write down the orderliness of creation. The creation account is structured in a series of days, each with a specific focus, demonstrating God's order and purpose. For example, light is created on the first day. If we see Genesis chapter 1, verse 3 to 5, and the sun, moon, and stars are placed on the fourth day. Genesis chapter 1, verse 14 to 19, to govern the light. And then you can write down the goodness of creation. After each act of creation, God observed that it is good. Genesis chapter 1, verse 4, 10, 12, 18, 21, and 25. This repeated affirmation underscores the inherent godness of God's creation. And then the creation of humanity. On the sixth day, God creates mankind in his own image. Genesis chapter 1, verse 26 and 27, highlighting the unique role and value of human beings in creation. And now you can write down the Sabbath rest. God rests on the seventh day, sanctifying it as a day of rest. Genesis chapter 2, verse 2 and 3. This establishes a pattern for human rest and worship. Hallelujah. So, my dear brother and sister, today we will learn about the practical applications about the book of Genesis, chapter 1. So, now you can write down number 1, recognize God's authority. Recognize God's authority, acknowledged God as the creator and sovereign ruler of the universe, while calls for our reverence and submission. And now you can write down, appreciate the order in creation, observe the order and beauty in the world around us as a reflection of God's characters and design. And third thing, value the goodness of creation. Treat the environment and all living things with respect, recognizing their inherent goodness as part of God's creation. And next one, embrace our identity. Understand our identity and purpose as being made in the image of God, which calls us to reflect His character in our lives. And then you can write down, honor the Sabbath. Incorporate regular times of rest and worship into our lives, following God's example of Sabbath rest. And now we can learn about people who is using in the Genesis chapter 1. Number 1, people is God. So in Hebrew words, Elohim. So description, you can write down, the central figure in Genesis chapter 1, God is the creator of the heaven and the earth. The Hebrew word used here in Elohim, which is a plural noun but is used with singular verb, indicating the complexity and unity of God. Genesis chapter 1, verse 1 states, in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth. And number 2, the Spirit of God, Ruach Elohim. Description, the Spirit of God is mentioned as moving over the surface of the waters. The Hebrew terms Ruach can means spirit, wind, or breath, indicating the active presence of God in creation. Genesis chapter 1 verse 2 says, now the earth was formless and void, and darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the surface of the water. And number three, man, Adam. Description. Although not named in Genesis chapter 1, humanity is created in the image of God. The term Adam is used in Genesis chapter 1, verse 26 and 27 to refer to mankind collectively. Status. Then God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, to rule over the fish of the sea and the bird of the air, over the livestock, and over all the earth itself, and every creature that crawls upon it. And now we can learn about the places. Number one, the heaven, Shamayin. Genesis chapter 1 verse 1, in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth. The term heaven refers to the expanse above the earth, encompassing the sky and the celestial realm. In Hebrew, Shemayim can denote both the physical sky and the spiritual heaven. And number two, the earth, Iritis. Genesis chapter 1 verse 1, in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth. Eretz in Hebrew signifies the physical land or ground. It is the foundational element of creation, representing the material world that God formed and filled. Number 3, the deep, the home. Genesis chapter 1 verse 2, now the earth was formless and void, and darkness was over the surface of the deep. The home refers to the primordial water or ABC. It conveys the concept of a chaotic, unformed state before God's creative order was established. And number 4, the water, Mayim. Genesis chapter 1 verse 2, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the surface of the waters. Mayim is the Hebrew word for waters, indicating the presence of water as a fundamental element in the creation narrative. It is separated and organized by God during creation. And number 5, the expanse, Rakia. Genesis chapter 1 verse 6, and God said, let there be an expanse between the waters to separate the water from the waters. Rakia is often translated as firmament or expanse. It describes the sky or atmosphere that God created to divide the water above from the waters below. And number 6, dry ground, Yabasha. Genesis chapter 1 verse 9, and God said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered into one place, so that the dry land may appear. Yabasha refers to the dry land that emerged when God gathered the waters. It is the solid ground that became the habitat for terrestrial life. So thank you very much for joining us and watching our videos and like our videos. So keep watching our YouTube channel, Rafa Bible School and College Official. May God richly bless you abundantly. Amen.
Let's become a divine partner of Rafa Bible School and College. You can donation weekly, monthly, and annually. And you can make Bridge of Hope for the development and encouragement of students. Contact details +92 306 437 9788. Email rafa.gospel123@gmail.com.